スタートアップをしてみたらOkay, so we will continue with the startup information or the
英語です。
We're gonna speak today also in English. Like the previous video, we have a special guest, Adam. So could you please quickly introduce yourself again?
So yes, I'm Adam Webb and I'm British, 40 years old, living in Sweden with my two children for the past 6 years.
So you have started 2 companies in Sweden, or 2 or several, maybe 2 companies so far.
Yeah, I've been part of 4 startups.
Okay.
2 are my own startups, which are these 2. And my first ever startup I started in France, which was very complex to do because I didn't speak French at the time. And the second startup I was actually the first employee, but I helped grow the company from like 10 resellers to 700 resellers globally.
Oh,
That's
wow.
fantastic.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience in this startup business. So today we want to ask about the startup experiences and about your products. So maybe our viewers can get inspired from
you and your experience.
Yes. Let's get inspired together. So you have done 4 startups before, and 1 in France and 3 in Sweden?
Yes.
And why do you choose startup instead of being an employee?
Good question. I ask myself that question every day. Well, when I worked for the British government, I found it very restrictive. You know, you have to be at your job at this time, leave at this time, you have your lunch at this time. And I felt like a trapped bird in a cage. I was like, and I had to get out. So the reason I love startups so much is A, because of the freedom of being able to choose your hours. If I want to work through the night, I can. If I want to work in the morning or not work in the day, I can choose. And also I love like the challenge of a startup, of creating an idea, putting it out in the world and seeing if people like it or not.
Is it not scary? It sounds scary, actually.
I wouldn't say scary, I would say it's exciting to see what happens. You know, everybody, when I did my Ocular Clip product, which is something no one's ever seen before, everybody, all my friends were saying, that will never work. That will never work, Adam. And I was happy to prove them wrong. You know, it was a challenge to say, this will work. So.
What is the differences in the startup culture in Sweden and in the UK, or in France maybe? You have done France.
I think the culture in the UK and Sweden is quite similar in the fact that they like startup culture. They like people to innovate, try something new. Nobody in Sweden is scared of failure, or nobody in the UK is scared of their companies not working. So in the startup culture that way, it's very, very similar. In France, maybe not quite as much, but people still try to start companies in France.
What is the reason why people are not scared?
I think it's the way we've grown up with accepting that if you fail, it's not such a problem.
Like the school educations or how teachers treat you and so on?
I think that especially in Sweden with the education for children, they treat everybody so equally and so fairly and explain that, you know, if things fail, it doesn't matter. You know, that's the way you learn. You fail, oh, that didn't work, I'll do something different. Oh, you try that, if that fails, I'll do something different.
But financially, sometimes it could be difficult, no? So it's like, how do you manage that kind of scare feeling, kind of?
Yes, financially, it can be really, really, really hard.
This is very sensitive question.
Yes, but I always think that you can always find a way. You go into a project thinking, how am I going to do this? But you always find a way. So for example, with Ocular Clip, I did a Kickstarter campaign, which then raised the first amount of money. So as long as you are determined to make something happen, you know, your direction might go like this, like this, like this. But if you want to get from here to here, you can. You just need to find a way to do it. But finance really is a hard one, you know.
It's not stable income every month. It's like you have to, yeah.
Does it help to know that Swedish is a quite high welfare system? Like you can get the free education for kids and medical fees almost free. Does it help you to challenge, to know that you get that kind of free support?
I mean, that's a good question. I think in the back of your mind, you know, Sweden, they've got my back. You know, if, for example, you can't afford to pay for your house, they can give you support. If you don't have a job, they can give you support. So, for example, when all my money ran out for lifelong, I then decided to study part-time to then get paid by the government some money to help me survive the past year until I can get my company growing. And when you have that type of support, that's really helpful. And like, as you say, the education is free in Sweden, which is amazing.
Yeah, and you get money on top, you know, from the government. Yeah.
They pay you to study, which they don't do that in the UK.
That's also the way you found, you know, like to stay this business or keep going with this business. You found a way to study.
So there's a flexibility and freedom maybe in the society or the system in Sweden.
Absolutely. I mean, Sweden, I don't think I know any other country, maybe Denmark, who gives so much flexibility and freedom and support to people.
なるほど。
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 Let's take a look at your products.
The first one is called Lifelong, and we offer plastic-free personal care products such as hand soap, body wash and shampoo. And it comes in a compostable paper pouch, and it's powder which you then mix with 500 millilitres of water. And the reason this is so good is because by not shipping water, we lower transport emissions by 94%, and we get rid of the plastic packaging as well. So very good for the environment.
And also cool, really cool pack, like a, what do you call it, a container without plastic.
Yeah, so this is a stainless steel refillable container, and the reason we wanted stainless steel was because it can last a lifetime. So the idea is you keep refilling, and then you never have to buy single-use plastic shampoo, body wash, hand soap again.
Yeah, it's really sustainable idea.
And also it's a package is very stylish and
we can ship everything through your letterbox, basically.
nice.
It's really brilliant.
These are 99.6% natural ingredients. The base is made from coconut oil and olive oil. We don't use any foaming agents because they're actually very bad for the health. Yeah, so the experience is it's more like a silky moisturising experience rather than a big bubbly foaming thing. And yeah, and they're good. We have 4 hand washes, 2 shampoos and 2 body washes.
I think this is really brilliant, sustainable. I mean, so light and you can send it so easily instead of sending a big bottle of like shampoo or liquid. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, you don't actually need to send water. Actually.
Exactly. It's like air and water. You don't need to send.
So, and like as I mentioned, by not shipping water, we lower transport emissions by 94%, and that's like one of the key factors in climate change at the moment. So, every little bit helps.
Yes, exactly. Maybe from Japan, as a consumer, you can order from Adam's site. So we put the links as well, so you can check.
Yeah, for sure. I would say if you order these are very reasonably cheap to ship because they're light. The dispensers may be a bit more expensive to send to Japan.
Exactly. This is what is it called?
So this is maybe a hard word to say, but it's called Ocular Clip. And ocular in English basically has anything to do with glasses or lenses or eyes. I hated to carry my huge big case. It never fit in my pocket. And then I'd find myself at the gym with my glasses and with no lens protection. So I wanted to design something super small, which could fit on your keys and fit in your pocket. And that's how I came up with this thing called Ocular Clip. And basically, they're just 2 small lenses which fit on your glasses, like this. And then what you can then do is I just carry mine on my keys like this. And then I'm never ever left without lens protection again. And I carry them when I go to the gym and I take my glasses off without my case. I've always got some type of lens protection to protect my glasses from being scratched in my bag.
It could be your glasses or it could be sunglasses.
Yeah, it could be sunglasses. So they fit all types of shapes of lenses, for glasses and sunglasses. So they'll protect like 95% of all shapes of glasses. And they're designed just to be put on the table or in the bag, wherever you go really. And I think they're specifically good for people who have really small bags and can't carry a big case.
And it's quite, I mean, it doesn't fall, right? Whatever you do, it's like quite sticky.
Yeah, so the way they're designed, we have one magnet on either side and it clips to the lens, so they will never come off your lenses.
Oh, 面白い. So interesting that to come up with such idea. I mean, I use glasses as well, but I never thought of this
Case,
case or
protection.
Protection, yeah.
It actually came up, I had a bicycle reflector clip, which I clipped on here, and I clipped one on my lens. I was like, that's what I need. So it's like taking one product and mixing it with another product and then designing the idea.
But from getting that idea, to start a company to produce, to design, produce, that feels really a big step. But maybe for you, you have done startup before, so maybe it was not such a big step from the idea to actually start the business.
Yeah, for me that's fun. Going up like, look at this weird, quirky product. Can I make it? And then I did some really bad samples. I made one out of cardboard, you know, and then I went and bought some material and I cut some and I stapled it together and just made some really rubbish prototypes. And I tried to design the shape, and then I had this clip and I was like, that's perfect. So I just, sounds bad, copied literally the shape of this lens clip because it was the perfect size. And then I contacted a bag manufacturer and they sent me some samples, some worked, some didn't, and doing a Kickstarter was the best way to
Right,
to
you have a crowdfunding going on at the moment, right?
Yes.
I think Japanese people can also join in the crowdfunding, right?
Yes.
So we have the link in the description, so you can check in that startup site. But so you always in your normal life, you always like trying to find something like the thing that you came up, or you always think that can I find some new idea, or is it your mindset thing?
Yeah, so I always like to create new things and put new things in the world. So, but I love to just create new ideas and.
Nobody has done those things, but it's like you don't feel like it's scared. You feel like more excitement.
Yeah.
Like nobody have done it, so I have to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I mean, that's not everybody has that mentality, so it's quite cool.
So as a Japanese, I'm born in Japan and grown up in Japan, so I fear failure. I feel that I do have my own business, but it's not so much challenges, so much risks. I don't like to take risks because I don't want to fail. But I think many Japanese people have that kind of mentality and not to fail, to do like so good. So not the excitement. But it's really inspiring that your story, that to have some idea and to make it happen.
I mean, I would love to launch 50 new products, 100 new products in the world. And just try and see what happens. You know, maybe this one doesn't work, maybe this one doesn't, but maybe the next one, I sell 1 billion of them. I don't know, so.
But I guess the crowdfunding is perfect for that because you can test the idea to the market already then before you put so much money invested on it. So I think it was a brilliant idea for you to go for Kickstarter instead of traditional way of selling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would definitely recommend if there's anyone wants to launch a product in Japan, definitely do a Kickstarter. I think with Ocular Clip, I sold like 5,000 units, and that really helped me
In Japan only?
No, this was across the whole world.
Okay.
So this was on Kickstarter. I had about 2,000 orders with about 5,000 units. So it showed that people like the product. And
I think that the culture, this kind of retail culture is changing now. Before it was quite classic that the producer produces products and the retailer sells products and the consumer buys from the retailer. But nowadays that it's so easy to connect directly to the consumers. So from the producer directly to the consumers, and the consumers are more active in like participating in production processes and so on. So I think it's really good time to try to do something like that.
yeah, I agree. And this whole like they call it digital native brands or D2C brands, where we don't own the customers, but we have that connection with our own customers without retail. So we can speak to them directly, get feedback, and it's a much more personable experience.
And it's exciting for consumers as well that to be able to get connected directly to the people who actually produces it.
You feel like you're a part of really the process of producing, like, oh, I want this color and this product because of this and this and that. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think especially on crowdfunds, especially the Kickstarter one in America, they really back the creator. They see the creator, they're like, oh, let's back him. And that feels really nice because you have this personal connection with everybody.
Exactly.
It's like more like a fan. It's like supporting the famous people almost.
Yeah, it's relatively small money. You can support the people who are doing something special. So that's special feeling, I think.
For sure.
Okay, so to get a summary, what's your goal in life? Like, would you continue doing the startup business, or will you be maybe working in a different company, or do you...
Good question. I think I will always be doing some type of startup business. It's exciting. You're in charge of your own destiny, so to speak, and yeah, I just love the challenge of it. Basically, if I could sell 1 million of these, that would be great. But if I can only sell enough to keep myself sustained, then that's also okay. You know.
And also, what is a successful life mean to you?
Successful life. These are hard questions.
I know.
Like to be rich, or to earn a lot of money, or to like have a time with your kids, or like to be free from work, time schedules and so on.
Yeah, I think having like this work-life balance. I mean, I find I just don't understand the world today where we have to literally leave our house at 8 o'clock in the morning, get to work at 9, work till 5, pick up the kids. I kind of want this freedom of being able to move as I want. You know, be there for the kids, be at home, cook dinner. So the goal would always be to have the freedom to do as I want, but also to have the financial success to be able to support myself.
Like, you know, like when I think about startup, I feel like you have to work until without sleeping. That's how I feel, you know, my image about
You're
that
very
stuff.
right.
So maybe that's correct as well. But it's very flexible, right? Like you can, you know, go to bed with kids first and then you work. Or like you can do many flexible things. I think it's allowed.
Yeah, and I think once you have I've got quite a good team around me for lifelong now, and once you start giving people certain areas to look after, marketing, operations, then it kind of starts working on its own a bit more, and you take off the stress from you so much, and you give it, well, don't give stress to other people, but you know, you give, so once you do that, then it's a lot nicer.
Yeah, but it's so inspiring. I mean, as I said, that a lot of Japanese have fear for failures, so that to get the guts and try to do the things that you think that is interesting
And exciting.
that is a key to a happy life, I think.
Oh, for sure. I think the major regrets you will have in life is by not trying. You know, if this like Ocular Clip, if I never tried it, I would always think, that could have worked.
Yeah, what if it worked?
Yeah, so I think always give something a go.
So true. 頑張りましょう。
Come on, my show.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
And I hope, your product will succeed.
Yeah.
everywhere you sell.
Yeah, thank you for having me on your show. It's been an absolute pleasure. So
Great.
See you in our next videos.
Thank you for watching until the end. Hej då!